Hello everybody. I want to talk to you today about something I think is very serious. Back in January, my twin sister had a home invader in Goshen, Mississippi. At that time, the media in that area, WLOX TV, the Sun Herald newspaper, and the Mississippi Press newspaper all covered it. The Sun Herald actually printed her name, showed pictures of the house, gave the address, and went to great lengths to make sure that everybody knew the full story. WLOX TV actually went to the house and had a live broadcast from that house. The amount of coverage that it got and the exposure that she got forced her to have to go by a different name. Everywhere she went after she got out of the hospital, she was reminded of this instance thanks to the media in that area. Recently, the man who was the culprit, the criminal, got out on bail. Let me mention this. The man has a record that dates back to the 1990s for violent assaults. He has 2 felony convictions, both violent, and the wisdom of the judge set the bail to where he could get out. Now, I was told by the prosecutor, but the investigator, that they did not know about this guy's sister who owned a bail bond company, and she got him out. Through all of that, after finding out about his release, I contacted WLOX TV. I contacted the Sun Herald. I contacted the Mississippi Press. To this day, only one of them have replied, the Mississippi Press, and they said they were going to run a story about this guy being out. He faces life in prison without possibility of parole. He has 2 felony convictions, both violent. He has a history that goes back, as I said, to the 1990s. And yet, he is walking around free, and the media down there, WLOX, the Sun Herald, we don't know about the Mississippi Press. They said they're going to cover it. So far, they haven't. Refuses to even report on this man being out among the people. He is very prone to violence, and yet they don't think it's important enough. But the victim, my sister, gets her name plastered all over the newspaper to where she has to go by a different name. She has to leave the area she lives in, and in the meantime, this guy's walking the streets. And the newspaper doesn't feel like it's worth covering. I ask you to please Google the Sun Herald, Google WLOX TV, and let them know that you're outraged, that they have shown a lack of professionalism, a lack of concern for the community. This guy has repeatedly perpetuated violence on others. Don't you think this type of person needs to be exposed to being out? And it's not against public record or anything else like this. It certainly didn't bother them to publish my sister's name and her house location and make her life completely miserable. That didn't bother them. But when this guy gets out, a habitual offender, and the investigator, the DA, they all will tell you he is a habitual offender. But this is what we're exposed to. I asked you, Google WLOX, Google the Sun Herald, Google the Mississippi Press. Contact them. Let them know of your outrage. I appreciate your time. I hope you'll take action. Thank you.